Hi everyone. So in this video, we are talking about traditional dances that I was part as I was growing up in Malawi. So I'll share with you four dances. Number one, chimtali. Chimtali was for young people, like girls, maybe from like 14 years below, and we would have someone who was beating the drum, and we would line up and then dance, usually for a dancing for a politician. And the dance mainly involves wiggling of your waist and yeah, things like that. Mainly it's wiggling your waist and shaking your back and all of that stuff, right? I remember when we were growing up, there was a member of parliament who came to our village. I still remember that dance because as school children, we were supposed to entertain politicians, and when we were growing up, many the politicians were men. So these traditional dances are were mainly performed for men. Yeah. Okay. Number two, ndolo. Ndolo is also performed by women. We also have men drumming and women dancing. And ndolo is also a political, excuse me, it's performed at political rallies and things like that. The dance is mainly, and it's known for um dancing for male politicians. Usually we had our first dictator, Dr. Banda, who really loved Ndolo because he would be surrounded by thousands of women wherever he is dancing for him. um it is a dance that many criticize because for the same reason that it's performed to entertain men. A lot of us have problems with that. As a dance on its own, it's perfect. If it was done like as part of community, women coming together and having all these traditional dances as part of, part of your celebrations and happiness, it's great. But yeah, anyway. And yeah, it's also linked to, especially during the time when we were under one party rule, women were abused a lot because if I'm talking about thousands of women, it means women were ferried from different parts of the country, brought into one place, and therefore male politicians would take advantage of the women, and men didn't have a voice. If they're abusing your woman, it's either you get thrown in the river if you speak up, or many people were detained for no reason without a sentence for many years because there were some men in power abusing their wives and things like that. So, but it's still performed to today's politicians. It wasn't just that dictator, Dr. Banda. They've carried on the culture, and the women are still dancing for the men politician. Okay, number three, Vimbuza. Vimbuza is we call it a Vimbuza, which means a healing dance, something like that. Vimbuza in English, maybe it's a Vimbuza. The word Vimbuza is depression, something like that. So it's usually performed to women that are depressed, and the people usually say women who are under lobora, women who are married but under certain rules, and these rules robora, which means the man paid some form of money or cow or some form of domestic animals to the woman's side. So if the marriage would end, if the woman decides to say no, I'm leaving because maybe the man is abusive, will mean the man demanding his property, his cows and cattle back. So because the woman feels trapped in that marriage because of dowry, most women develop this vimbuza, which is depression. That is the theory that is there. But of course, the correlation from what I've seen and heard is quite high. And so they would create this, there would be someone who would be called a healer, where women would go, and then in the evening, there will people be drumming. Some of us will be clapping hands so that the women that are depressed can start dancing can get into the rhythm, they start dancing, and indeed it does, Vimbuza does work to help people who are depressed. And like I'm saying, majority of the Vimbuza dancers, these people are women. Majority of them are women who are stuck in different forms of marriages. But maybe there is also other people that suffer Vimbuza. I've seen children who are mestre, like orphans. So it's still around those depression and stuff like that. Okay. Number 4, the last one is the Malipenga. Malipenga has two types, at least from where I was growing up. This Malipenga is usually performed by men. Women would just be there clapping hands or rating and things like that going around to cheer men, but usually it's performed by men, and it's usually two types. There is one that wear khaki uniform, there's one that wear white uniform, but they are both like a shirt and a short. It's not trouser but shorts, but they also wear shoes and socks. So if it's white, everything will be white. The one that are wearing khaki, the shoes can be any color. Maripenga, the good part that I want to maybe highlight here is when they are doing competitions, they will do their research. For them to create the songs, they need to talk against the team that they are competing with, something like that. So I remember there was a song which I would sing in my language for people that understand my language, but I also translate it um, in English so you understand what, for example, this issue was and how Maripenga was also used as an activism or is used as a form of activism. So this song was around a child who was raped by his own father, and when after he was raped, she went to her auntie to say, I've been raped by my father. The auntie thought, oh, as my brother is my brother mad? Why this happened? She took the issue to the elders, but the elders could not settle the issue. So the song is about that. So the song was kuhangalawe takanyeno kwaveka mbiri kwaveka mbiri mwasinga wakora mwana kuruta nayo kukati nakumuona nakumutora chizimba mwana walaya dada mkunipweteka mwana walaya dada muri vazito mwana wavuka kuruta kwanyina nkazi nakukandura ivi achita mwasinga wayanalana dhumbu wani wafunda wachema vantu vakatondeka kwandura makani gazito ngati ni aya. Yes, so the song just emphasizes that in this city the guys we are competing with, this just happened. Mr. So and so, in this case they were talking about Mr. Masinga, who took a child, who sexually molested a child, or rape happened, and the child went to tell. As that was happening, the child was crying, saying, "Dad, you are heavy. Dad, you are hating me." The child went to tell the auntie, about the story. The auntie was surprised and shocked. She took the issue to the elders, but the elders could not know how to handle the issue. So this just gives us a snippet of what happens in community, that what was happening as we were growing up. There was a lot of people that were normal, but there were also, we also had not normal people. But zifwamba, I can only quantify it in my language, people who didn't have humanity in them. So like all these stories, so a lot